Hey there, gamers. Welcome to Crypticgamin. I hope you've been having a wonderful week. So, I'm going to be teaching you how to make currencies in this game, and it's nothing that you're going to do that's going to get you banned. Understand, when you join the game, whenever you're hitting that button to join, you are making an agreement that if there's a broken aspect of the game, you're not going to exploit it. If they catch you doing that, it can actually get your account banned, and you're going to have to start all over, and that's assuming that you can even be able to buy a game under that account again. That's something you need to be aware of. Now that that's been straightened out, I want to show you a couple things. You have different types of currencies in this game for new players and advanced players in the end game, and I get asked quite a bit. I've covered this stuff in some videos, but I went through today and I wanted to grab every question I've been asked about how to make currency. So let's start with your guild marks. Guild marks are what's going to get you currently the advanced weaponry over here at Blackwood. It's also what's going to get you the past blueprints of ships that, in my opinion, are just dominating the game right now. So when we come down here, you're going to see they have a general store, and this is where you're going to pick up like your schooner blueprint. In fact, this is, in my opinion, the best ship in the game by far. You can run every event. Now you can use the frigate as well. It takes some grinding to get a frigate where it's viable, getting it up to level 15. So I do recommend that if you're going to focus on something, maybe focus on that schooner as soon as you can get those 1,000 guild points. And you can do that in an hour. We're going to teach you how to do that if you follow these tips. Your bark blueprint, great healing ship. You can use it to make battle bark so you heal yourself while you're fighting. Brig, that's a auxiliary weapon specialty type ship. Then you have the battle junk, which is fantastic. I recommend that you buy the blueprint for every ship as you can. Do not fall for the buying of silver chest for 1 guild point. You are wasting your hard-earned guild points. So I promised you that I'm going to teach you how to get these guild points very quickly. What you have to understand is there's a couple ways you can earn them. One of them is going to be running missions that you can pick up from Blackwood, missions and convoys that are just located around the map. Anything you see, if it's a Fangs of Farah, maybe there's an actual boss. They're located with these skulls, by the way. Then, of course, you have these convoys. They're located with the little ships. You have other types of contracts. These used to be a contract like Blood Drunk. Then, of course, you're going to be able to earn some things from manufactory buyouts. You're going to be able to earn from events that are happening like Moonshiner, Fleet, things like that. But the quickest, easiest way for you to get your guild points, and I'm talking thousands of guild points, where you can actually within the day, you could probably buy every single blueprint with 1 day of grinding. When I'm talking about a day, I'm not talking a 24-hour sitting, I'm talking within a few hours. So the quickest way to do that, whether you're in tier 1 or tier 2, is to start hitting these towers that are on the map. Now, let's zoom in here so you can see what I'm talking about. If you've ever come around anywhere to Red Isle or anywhere, you see guard towers. These pay 100 infamy. Now, every 100 infamy that you get goes into this seasonal leaderboard. Your seasonal leaderboard, you can earn around 12 to 13,000 guild marks as soon as you complete through this thing. Now, if you look here for seasonal, I have 584,000 points. That is for the season. And then weekly, I'm currently completed with 64,000. That's blowing up, quite a few towers, sinking quite a few ships, blowing up some walls, running plunders and things like that. So what you have to decide is, do you want to have a focused grind going toward just guild points, or do you want to have a all-inclusive grind? And I'm going to show you how to do all of that tonight here. So first things first, as you earn this, there are tiers, and as you can see, I've completed the weekly and I've completed the seasonal. But as you complete infamy points, now there's certain things that you can pick up missions from Blackwood. You can pick up missions over here from Skurlock. You can pick up missions from any of the areas as far as Blacksmith, Rama, Yanita. There's a lot of different people you can go and pick up missions from. They're going to have an infamy payout, but every ship that you destroy and every achievement that you do in there also pays infamy, so it all starts to add up. But really the quickest way, the absolute fastest way to complete your infamy is to go through, and what I recommend doing is coming into the African plains, and there are a ton of guard towers. So for every 10 guard towers you destroy, you're going to be earning 1,000 of those points, guys. You're getting 100 infamy each, so you're getting 1,000. And as you come down through here, you're going to find out that you're going to end up having completed plenty to get some infamy. Now, by the time you reach your second tier, you're going to be able to get your first ship. And you can continue to rinse these and repeat these as you earn your ships and get higher ships. You can then come against these walls over here with the towers. There's plenty of walls. You're not going to run out of stuff. Fort Boosters. You'll be able to come in here and destroy the walls. They pay more. But of course you have your towers over here, and some of these actually pay a little bit more than 100 if you take these higher end over here as well. So, but like I said, if you're new to the game, you're going to destroy these towers. The first tower I would recommend that you test, come over here, shoot this guard tower directly across from the St. Anne area. If you can take it out pretty easy, then you are going to be able to take out every guard tower here around St. Anne. If you're taking those out in 1 or 2 shots, then it's time that you need to move over, grind it out. Just continue to work your way across the map, come up here into Africa and take out every single tower. If you just come through here and just run around, you're going to be able to take out the towers. You're also going to be picking up materials as you go through. So Nizdi, that's a type of banana. You want to make sure that you keep any type of food in your ship. Now, if you're running low on any kind of warehouse space, if you will keep your food as cooked rather than cooked and uncooked, it's going to conserve some space. So make sure that you're cooking everything down to what it is, condensing it down into one slot. There's a lot of materials that you're going to want to pick up too, like hemp and things like that. You're going to need these for buyouts in the future. And if you're new to the game, if you're not new to the game, I do this stuff anyway. I've been playing this game since day one, actually in the early betas, and I do this normally as just part of my grind, coming in just destroying stuff. So now my grind for infamy points has changed since then. Typically I run forts. So if you're new, run this new fort. If you're established, you can run these new forts, and you can essentially complete a tier of infamy for every completion of this fort. If you're destroying ships and shooting the walls and earning those points, you're going to be knocking through this stuff really fast. Now, if you're new and you have a new ship, stick to the towers, stick to the walls, things that you can handle. But you're going to progress very quickly, whether it's a level 2 tower like right here, or you're dealing with some higher level towers like the 15s and 16s, or the level 20 walls and things like that, or level 18 forts that you see in tier 2. You're going to be able to earn through your infamy very fast, and that's going to get you all of the guild points that you need off of that tree there, your leaderboard, so that you can buy for Blackwood. And what I would recommend, get every blueprint Blackwood has. You also want to make sure that you're getting every blueprint in the game. Now, the small ship blueprints are over here at the shipwright, and you can pick those up with silver. Most of your early weapons now, which are still viable, by the way, in the game, you're going to be able to pick up for silver. You're going to be able to buy them there. Then, of course, your entry-level medium ships there are going to be located over here at Talak Panjara. This is going to be where you will pick up your snow and, of course, your brigantine as well. And then you can pick up your sambuck if that's something you're interested in, a high DPS. It's kind of a glass cannon, but great ship. You can pick that up from Unita Nara over here in St. Anne at the black market, which is straight back here. I'll show you where this is at. That was the blacksmith we just passed. And this little den sitting back here is where you will find a black market Unita. Now, as to what level that opens up, you're going to have to look see, guys. Used to, she didn't show up till you were a kingpin, but it sounds like she's actually showing up earlier than that now. So, hey, that's great if she is showing up earlier for you guys. There's no way for me to go back and play the early stage of this game, but you have to understand your infamy is what's paying the most guild marks. Now, you do earn guild marks for running convoys and bosses, and also one of the quickest way to pick up 400 or 500 is going to be to run those cutthroat cargoes that you'll see. They look like a little skull. I've already ran a couple of them today, but they typically spawn every hour. If you run that, you're going to get some guild marks as well. And like I said, you can get anywhere from 400 to 500 by running that. So that's going to be a good way for you to get those guild marks. Now, of course, SP is a different type of a beast when it comes to it. The easiest way for you to earn smuggler points, which convert into a token, which is a form of currency for your smuggler's pass. Okay, this is the smuggler's pass, and you can earn certain types of weapons. Now, what I have always done in the past is I typically go straight into Gunner's Master, because that's where the new weapon style is going to be, which was the Thunder Dragon Cannon, and a lot of great things that you can find in here as well. if you decide you want to pay for a pass, you can pick up some stuff. You get these helm leases. These are fantastic. If you're running buyouts, you can earn those in the little guild chest that you pick up as well, if you're already on the location. So those are some great things to get as well. And of course, your ship master, if you're new to the game, you're going to be able to pick up a lot of stuff that's been repeated. And quartermaster, this is typically where you're going to find your newer furnitures and stuff like that as well. But you may also be finding armors and stuff in here as well. So there's a lot of really cool things, a lot of materials that you can get. Like I say, just scroll through it, find what it is that you want to focus on. But the main thing is you want to make sure you're doing the Smuggler's Pass, because that's where you're going to earn your new blueprints. Now, the old blueprints are located at Blackwood in the Smugglers Network, and you can now, this has changed since season 1 of year 2, you can now come in and you can buy every past blueprint that he had for a ship. I don't know if it's going to be the same thing come season 3. I have no idea, guys. That's something you're going to have to, we're just going to have to wait and see what they do. You can also pick up cosmetics and things as well. They've got a lot of entry level stuff that you can pick up. Totally up to you if you want to invest in it. He does carry blueprints. You'll find that a lot of the year 1 higher end weapons, they repeat in here every week. You'll see where they'll like roll it back around. It'll be a different set of armor for your ship, or a different set of weapons and things like that, typically rotating every week or 2 weeks in there. So make sure you definitely check it back on that every Tuesday morning. Then of course your weekly seasonal items. These are things that you used to be able to buy throughout the week after you had an hour cooldown. That is no longer the case. Once a week, you're allowed to come in here and buy a certain amount. So, been able to buy the Nova Armor, been able to buy the ammo priming stations, been able to get the deep iron and different things that I want in here. Then you got to wait a week, but you can buy from here in St. Anne, and then you can go over to Lock Panjara and you can buy again. So you do get that opportunity to buy from him twice in that time, but it will take 7 days for this store to reset, and it is all guild marks in here. So that's going to be a great way to get those. Now, like I was telling you, when it comes to those smuggler points, guys, the easiest way to get your smuggler points right now in the game to complete your pass is, if you're in tier 1, it's going to take a little bit longer to grind it out than it will in tier 2, because you do receive 50 less points than you do in tier 2. But the easiest way to do it is, I'm going to show you this little loop right here. You want to run Garande, you want to run the Seafood Lumberyard, Palisade Bay, and Lambo Weaver. So when you're running this, you're going to do a plunder, and you're going to be picking up what items is there. So you're going to be picking up a lot of items, but you're also going to be collecting 100 SP in tier 1. You're going to be picking up 150 SP over in World Tier 2 with every completion, and just keep running these. Now, why these 4 specifically? Because anything in this game, you want to look at it from the numbers. The more times you can grind it in the amount of time that you have to play the game, that's going to give you higher point system. So SP is going to be earned that way. Now, of course, everything within the game you can take and earn through these Fangs of Farah. And of course, the Hunter Hunted up here, if you're new to the game, if once you hit level 10, you can start running Treacherous Turn, and you can start running the Show of Strength, which shows up down here right there. And these are old contracts that you can run. Then of course you can throw in some Blood Drunk. If you're new to the game, I don't recommend coming over here. The waves will beat your small ships to death over there. So, but the reason you want to run and add these into your grind, guys, when you're going to earn, it's not a lot of SP. You earn 40 SP in tier 1, so that's a little bit of SP. You're going to earn around anywhere from 10 to 20 guild marks for each run on that. But the big thing is you're earning pieces of 8, and pieces of 8 are very key to upgrading your ship. The most commonly asked question by pirates coming into this pass right now is, what ship do I need to use to pick up my 8s, and what level does it have to be? Well, there's no easy answer to that, but there it kind of is. We'll show you. The ship you want to do is the one that you have the most resources for. Now, as you level up your factories, you need a higher level ship to then pick up the materials coming out of that. That's where upgrading your ship comes in. If you look here, we've got a few. This one's not been upgraded at all. This one here has been upgraded to a level 2, and you can look here, and when you go to a level 3, it now requires pieces of 8. This is where Fangs of Farah and those other bosses and 4 horsemen that we talk about so much that I showed you just now, They pay pieces of 8. They pay anywhere from 400 to 500 pieces of 8 in World Tier 1. They do pay more in World Tier 2, guys, so it's going to shorten your grind if you can handle those ships. But it's not required. And you want to take those to a 6 of 7 to get a level 13 ship. Okay, that's going to take you to a level 13. And with a level 13 ship, you can collect from any location. Now, you do not, nor will you be able to, let me make sure I add that, be able to build a ship for every location in this game. Meaning I can't assign a ship permanently to this location and this location and this location and this location and so on and so forth up to 76 locations. Even when you take into consideration that this area here is an auto collect, so I can actually come over here and just claim the produced items. If you hover over, here's another auto collect. We'll go ahead and show them all to you. And we can claim everything there. Now you have to own all the territories within that square. And that automatically claims. It's automatically claiming anything that you're producing. I'm producing specialty items on here as well, guys. And that's how you're going to be picking those things up. So there are actually 5 auto collects. This one here in the Indies. This one here right outside St. Anne. You have one here. And then you have 2 at the very top of the African plains, and I do recommend that you start up here when you're collecting your stuff. Now let's find a fort here. So this one's a pretty good distance. This is something to remember. You have a dock here and you have a dock up here. The further you get from your dock and the higher level your factory is, the higher level ship it requires to pick up. So if we come down to Talak Panjar, we wanted to pick, say, here, we would tab over. It has to be a level 2 or higher for your manufacturer to pick up. And it says a recommended ship rank of 15 to pick this up. Now, does that mean you have to have a level 15? Absolutely not. A 13 is the minimum. If you look here, it says medium risk. 12 is an extreme risk. This ship can sink and cost you your 8s. A medium risk might take a little damage, but it's not going to cost you your 8s. So you can pick up with that. Now what you want to do is assign, and it's going to be, it needs to be 610. People go, well, my ship didn't pick up my 8s. Look down at the bottom, it says ship capacity. If it's 610, it will not pick up that factory until the factory reaches over on the right hand side 610 of the material there. So when you assign it, as an example, let's say that this was 610, we would assign it here, and it would go pick the location up and then immediately unassign it. The ship will be en route with your pieces of 8. This way it doesn't repeat the location, and you can repair it if it does take some damage. I've not really been having any issues with that. I have risked it a few times with extreme risk ships and been okay, but I have also lost pieces of 8. So I don't recommend doing the dark red, but this kind of lighter orange pink color, you'll be fine to do that with. Now, when you come over to this area, we're quite a bit further out, and it requires a level 14 ship. So again, we can pick it up with a 13. We could pick it up with a 12 if we wanted to. Again, it's going to pick up 610. 11s will pick up 610. I do recommend, if you have lower level forts, have a couple of level 10 ships for pickup. The reason level 10 is because you have 510 that you can pick up. It has a capacity of 510, so it picks it up a little bit quicker. But if you're up to level 5s and you're pretty far out, the minimum level I recommend is a level 13. You can get a level 13 just farming tier 1. You do not need to have a masterwork kit for that. Now once you have, I recommend 6 ships that are level 13. The way I would do that is I would make sure that it is 6 actual ships, not just 6 of anything. Make 6 ships that you like using, whether it's small builds such as a sloop or a barge. Those are great ships, by the way, guys. DPS, they are just out the yin yang. The Badar, another great ship. I don't care for the snow. There's a lot of people that use snows to pick up, but you know, you can do a snow, you can do brigantines, but it's a ship that you're going to want to use. You are a captain and you are building an empire. Okay, that's what you need to understand. You're building an empire, so you want to have ships to pick things up. And you will send a ship out and it will go pick the location up. Let us show you exactly what I'm referring to here. So I've intentionally took this off earlier today. We have 11 parts here. Now when I come over here, whether this is pieces of 8 or upgrade parts, whatever it is you're running on it, you can look and say, okay, well, I can pick up a delivery amount of 6 of these because it's a little bit different than 8s. Pieces of 8, I'm now picking up parts. So I could go, okay, I can pick up 6 of these and I can assign a ship. Maybe I'm going to bed and I don't want to have to be getting up in the middle of the night to do this thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for the minimum amount of ship rank I could put on it. It says recommended of 11. I could put a 10 on here. This is going to pick up 5 and just assign it and leave it assigned to this location. Now when it returns, as you can see, it's coming in 2 minutes and 25 seconds counting down. When it returns, it will automatically go back out because I have 6 parts there, so it'll make another trip to come out. So I hope that kind of explains what's going on. If you're making parts, I do recommend that you keep a ship on it. And when you hover over, you can see I have a ship located here. That's actually a small ship. That's a barge. So you can have a small ship attached to it. You can have a large ship attached to it. You can have a medium ship. It's totally up to you. This one here, this is making upgrade parts. We can do 2.14 an hour. We can assign a ship to this, and I think we will go ahead and put a 12, which will pick up 6 ships at a time. So we're going to assign a ship and just leave it on there. That way I don't have to worry about coming and picking those 8s up. Now what you want to make sure you don't do is you don't want to inadvertently assign the same ship to multiple warehouses, because it's not going to sit on multiple warehouses. All you're going to do is pull it off. Like here, we put a level 12 to pick up here. And then of course we have a location over here, and I believe I've got a ship assigned to it. Yeah, so we put a 13 up here. As you start getting up in these higher territories, and I've got all 5, so this requires a rank of a 14, but we could pick up with a level 13 over here absolutely fine with no problem. We could potentially pick it up with a level 12 if we wanted to as well. But as you can see, we get into 11s and it becomes an extreme risk, and you don't want to risk your pieces of 8. So that's kind of explaining, hopefully pretty clear what it is. So minimum rank, I would admit, level 13. You should be building ships anyway to a level 13 at minimum. Now eventually you want to get them maxed out to 15s, but you need to be building a fleet that's going to pick up your 8s. And you need at least 6 ships to be able to pick these things up from all these locations. That way you're not having to go out and pick them up manually, because trust me, we did that in season 1 of year 1, and it sucked so bad. You had to pull off for your grinds and constantly running 8s. It become a thing. So here we go. We have Rafia Weaver, and we don't have a ship assigned. We're at 665 pieces of 8 now, and it says we need, I apologize for the UI popping up there. It says we need a minimum rank of a 12. So I want to make sure that I pick up as many 8s as possible, and whether I'm picking up with a level 15, 610 is the maximum that you can pick up pieces of 8. And we have a level 11 here that'll pick up 610 as well. Now a level 9 ship is only going to pick up 420, plus it's an extreme risk. So I'm going to go ahead and set this battle bark here, and I'm going to unassign it. So this used to be a battle bark that I had set up back in the day. It was just to run around and just destroy fleets and things like that. It would heal itself. I've since just relegated it to pieces of 8. It will rank up to a level 13 because it is 6 of 7 on the upgrade charts. So you have to have those pieces of 8. And the quickest way right now, guys, running pieces of 8 is Fangs of Farah, Hunter Hunted. And if that's all you can do, then just run those. Treacherous Turn, and then Show of Strength down here. These are all going to pay you 400 to 500 pieces of 8. You can run them in no time flat. It takes a few minutes. Does not take long. You can run this with a entry-level Badar. I've made videos on it showing just a Badar with absolutely no weapons on it, just coming up and ramming the crap out of it. It takes 8 strikes hitting this ship in the side. If that's the only ship that you can take out in here, you can continue to ram it in the side with that Badar, sink it, and get pieces of 8 to start your upgrades. But you can actually upgrade your ships right here, the first 3 upgrades here. So like from a 0 to a 1, it's going to cost you 5 linen and upgrade parts. Well, where do you get these upgrade parts? Well, if you're earning pieces of 8 from those contracts, as I just showed you, from those locations, you can pick up your upgrade parts over here at Yanita. Now, you can get them awarded to you through the Smuggler Pass as well. Look and see where they're at. Be selective about what you're spending your points on, and just focus on what it is that you want to get. But you're going to be able to come in here. You can come up and you can buy those upgrade parts from her for pieces of 8. They're going to cost you. Let us see what the cost of these things now are. Yeah, so here's upgrade parts, 500. So if you went and you destroyed Fangs of Farah and you got 500 pieces of 8 from the first hit, then there you go. You got an upgrade part. You can take your ship up. Now you need upgrade parts for every level. You need upgrade parts for upgrading weapons. You need these to upgrade absolutely everything in the game. And back in the day, there was only one place that you could buy an upgrade part, and that was at the oubliette. They've since made it where it's highly available for everything, and you can get them from all kinds of areas now. You can get them from forts, you can get them from plundering forts, you can get them from dropping on convoys, running moonshine events, you know, whatever type of events in the game, you can earn those, and you will take them over to the builders here, to your ship builder, and you're going to upgrade your ship. Again, if you follow what I was telling you with these towers, that's earning your guild marks, you're going to have plenty of fine linen, and now you're going to be able to take and get those with upgrade parts. You may be sitting here, okay, where would I get 18,000 silver? One of the perks of hitting those bosses that I told you is you get silver boxes. Now, I've been hitting these bosses, you know, just throughout the day. And let's go over to our cargo and show you how many we've managed to pick up. And this is just over a course of a couple days, some light farming, nothing major, but I wanted to stack them just to kind of give you an idea of what you're looking at. Now, I've managed to get 91 silver boxes here. We've got 93 of those. We've got 141 of these silver pouches, and these are just from sinking normal ships, just blowing up ships, destroying stuff. They don't even have to be those Fangs of Farah ships and things like that. They don't have to be the higher end elites. They can be normal ships, and these things drop like hotcakes. So something to keep in mind. Whether you are a new player or an advanced player, these are some great ways to do some stuff. Now, obviously, as you reach Kingpin, what is the quickest way to reach Kingpin, guys? Running Infamy. Infamy is what takes your rank from your very entry level all the way up to a Kingpin. You will come through the ranks. You will be able to open up new gear through that, and the quickest way is to grind Infamy. If you've ever played an MMO or an ARPG, any type of games like that, you can just come in and just grind anything that pays the experience points. It's called Infamy in this thing, and you will grind that out. Now, once you hit Endgame, it is no longer just called Infamy. They call it Kingpin points. It's the same as Infamy. It converts over just the same way. So just hitting those towers is going to get you a really good start. You're going to pick up those guild points for that. You're going to be able to earn silver and things through the game. Of course, running for those SP as well. That's smuggler points. That's going to earn you your ships. You're earning your guild points. You're earning your SP. You're also getting a lot of materials. So this Lambus Weaver here, as it looks like, he has fine jute there. So there's another Weaver over here that is going to be paying out Cecil. There's another Weaver over here. They pay out hemp. So that's something else you need to understand is the game codex within the map system. Okay, so what you're looking at here, this is a lumberyard. Obviously, any icon on this thing would be a lumberyard. If you're wondering what type of wood is in the area, just look at the nearest lumberyard. If it says teak planks, that means there's teak trees in the area, and you can just go around and grab the teak trees if you want to. You'll see little harvesters that go around and they're collecting everything. That's what's collecting all those resources, by the way. If you come to an area and everything says depleted, look for the ship that's collecting it. It's not a player, it is an NPC ship. Look for it, sink it, you're going to get the materials off of it. Now then turn around and you can buy it from this base. I don't buy anything, I'm a pirate, I'm not a merchant. I turn around and I will farm that. I will start a plunder and I will hammer that thing away. You're going to get that 100 SP from it, 150 if you're world tier 2, and you're going to be completing your grinds this way, guys. You're going to be getting XP, by the way. You get Infamy for every single one of these plunders that you run as well. Every stage of it is going to pay you silver and different types of materials. It's going to give you some of them. You will be able to pick up some parts, especially like in World Tier 2. You're going to be able to pick up a lot of your Ascension modules and things like that, running forts and stuff as well. Over here, you can look at this one here at World Tier 2 here. It pays 8, Gannet, Saltpeter, Orca Mechanism, Swarm's Breath, Eel's Twine. It also gives helm materials and stuff as well. You can earn 2,200 pieces of 8 by running Mega Fort Houston. That's in World Tier 1 and World Tier 2. It doesn't matter. And you can take this fort with a level 13 ship. You do not need a level 15 in Tier 1. Now, you're not going to solo Houston in World Tier 2 in a level 13. It just ain't going to happen. But in World Tier 1, you can solo that in a level 13 ship. So pick a ship. I would recommend picking a DPS ship that you like, and that can be your main runner. And I will show you, in my opinion, what if you're starting off and you're like, okay, well, I don't really know where to start. What am I going to look at? You're going to come up here to this, and you're going to go to the sloop. This has explosive weaponry on it. Anything that has an explosive weapon perk to it, any explosive weapon, is going to pick up these perks off of this ship. Now, if you prefer fire, the firebrand is a great one because it will set a blaze. And this is more for ship to ship. This works great for ship to ship, but it's also really great for using against forts. Now, if you plan on just doing a ton of forts, another great ship is a Bombarder Patacawan. This is probably one of the easiest ships there is to get materials for, coming into medium ships, and you can really just hammer a lot of stuff. Now, what you're going to see, looking at what's required. So you're looking at different types of metals for each ship. So we're going to look at this. So a Mopane plank, it would require 18. So let's go look at a small ship. We are looking at no wood to build. We're looking at cobalt ingots, 8. So let's just look at the metal here. We need 15 for this. So you could actually build this ship, get it upgraded to a 13, to have a ship that would solo Mega Fort Houston very easily by throwing on a set of weapons on this thing that you can build out pretty quick. Let's go to our blacksmith, and we're going to look at some of the blueprints that he is now offering over here, guys. And also we're going to look at Unita Nara, because they changed a lot of this stuff where it's no longer requiring pieces of 8, and it doesn't hurt. So we want to make sure that we're using something that's going to be strong enough to really do some damage, and we want to make sure it has an explosive perk because we're going to be using that sloop, right? So this one here damages multiple foes in an area because it has an AoE. It has an explosive perk on it automatically, so this is going to really proc well with that ship. And then as you upgrade it, you'll be able to do some pretty awesome things with that. Now, let's say it's going to be a little bit before you can upgrade those, but we want to buy a blueprint of something that we can actually come in here and use pretty quick. Now, first thing, you can buy like a fire bombard if you wanted to. I don't mess around with tier 1 weapons much. Coming into the game, don't go below a 2. You're going to be able to earn those on the water pretty easy, so you won't have to buy them. Let's see what he is selling here. I'm not seeing any weapons there that I would buy from him. You could go to your codex and you can track weapons, but the easiest way to find some of these entry levels is just check him and then come over here to Unita. And remember, you're going to be grinding out these pieces of 8, so you're going to be able to buy some of these weapons as well from her. And she may have something in here for pieces of 8 that you really like, and you can save your silver. So let's go down here. We're going to check out our weapons that she's offering. Now, keep in mind, she does sell weapons such as like the Bonds Meg 3. This is a weapon for 750 pieces of 8. If you decide you wanted that, that is specifically for taking out structures, meaning fort walls and things like that. So maybe that's something you want to look at. Maybe you want to come down here and see what type of weapon she has. So there's some piercing demi cannon she's got. She's going to have, let's get down here to the nitty gritty stuff, guys. So there's that Sandbuck 3500 pieces of 8. I love that ship. It would not serve you well at a solo of a Mega Fort Houston. It would probably get you sunk a couple times, so I don't recommend building that one first thing, guys. I do recommend that sloop though. So a lot of really great weapons so that she's got in here. A lot of level 3 weapons. As you can see, they are on the price your side, 650 pieces of 8. So for a lot of this stuff, but what you're looking for . There it is. A Fire Bombard 3. This is what you're looking for. 1,650 pieces of 8. If you buy that, you're gonna be set. And you can even upgrade this weapon to some really great stuff later. So, but for the entry level, going into your level 13 ships, you put this all the way around your ship. When you get that upgraded to a 6 of 7, it's going to be great. It's going to be doing you a good job all the way up through those upgrades, guys. So make sure that you save up, pick up this Fire Bombard 3, put that on a sloop, and you're going to be golden. You're going to be great at everything that you run around, whether it's ship to ship. When it comes to your auxiliary weapon, I like the Warhammer. It does, on occasion, come into Blackwood on a rotation that you can earn that, guys. So keep an eye on that. And I don't believe it's available right now this week. We'll double check here. It was there last week. Let's see what we got. So it would be down here at time limited events, and it would be down here in the weapons. So I do not see it in the weapons. And I will be straight up with you. I don't have much use for this weapon here. I don't have much use for this 1,000-year monsoon either, or even this Electo. Save your guild points. I mean, if that's something you want to play around with later, that's fine, but I wouldn't waste anything on it. Divine Thunders, these are really nice. These are fantastic. I wouldn't put them all the way around on my sloop, though. You want to stick to an explosive style weapon with that thing. So, but if you're looking for what ship, I want a medium ship schooner. It's basically a very large version of a sloop. It has that broadside attack. It specializes explosive damage off the broadsides as well. And it is just a fantastic ship. You're getting a Fury perk also, which increases damage towards structures. You're also getting weak point damage, 30%, 10 seconds. You're also getting those weapon hits have a 20% chance of triggering Fury on self, which increases your broadside damage by another 20% as well. So that's fantastic. You can trigger 700 damaging, a 700 DPS damaging explosion every 3 seconds with this thing. It has a 100-meter blast radius, by the way, with that Fury perk. This thing is fantastic. These are just basically upgraded version of the sloop. So, like I said, you can really start with a sloop until you're able to get the 1,000 guild points, get in this schooner, and at that point, I still use my schooner. It solos everything in this game. Tier 1, Tier 2, it doesn't matter. You can solo everything in that game. So, it's gonna be a great addition to your fleet, guys. But like I say, make sure that you're building your fleets, get all the blueprints, make sure that you're putting everything in there. But I hope that has given you some great ideas. Now, once you've reached Kingpin, guys, this is where things really start to really blossom. Now, this is where a lot of you are at, and where a lot of the questions have really started to, a lot of questions. And for those of you still watching the video, guys, this is probably where you wanted to be at. When it comes into your main helm here, the first thing you're going to want to do as you come into a Kingpin ship, Empire Administration just lets you take 8 more factories, and then you want this coercive growth. This will allow you to upgrade factories via takeovers, meaning every time you run a takeover on a factory you own, you will be able to upgrade it. But remember this part, you have to unlock the ability to have the upgraded factory, which will be picking the tree. So pick one. I do recommend that Northern African plane, which is going to be this Confederation of Nguana, this manufacturing expansion. This will allow you to take your factory to a level 3. You can take it to a level 2 without it, but to go from a 2 to a 3, you have to have this expansion. This is going to improve your equipment, and then this one here is going to allow you to take it to a level 4. Don't worry about going beyond that at the moment. Finish taking that Confederate. You want to make sure that you take all their territories before you move to the next one. At this time, you should be saving pieces of 8 up. You should also be opening up this section here, the helm. This is where you make your silver. And I'm talking unlimited amounts of silver the proper way in the game. Once you have your empire built, you can do this very easily, guys. And where do you get the pieces of 8? That's where I get asked all the time, how did you get all this stuff done? Well, last season, of year 2 here, the first season of year 2, we all started at the exact same amount of pieces of 8 as everyone else, and we had to come in here and grind this stuff from Mega Fort Houston, and you got 2,200 pieces of 8 that made it where it was just impossible to do by yourself in World Tier 2 just about. Plus it took 10 to 15 minutes to grind out for 2,200 pieces of 8. In Tier 1 this season, you can hit Fangs of Farah, you can hit Hunter Hunted, you can hit this Treacherous Turn, and you can hit the Show of Strength down here, and you can hit them repetitively, back to back, all the way around. And you may have to throw in a Blood Drunk because they drop so fast. It takes 5 minutes for them to respawn. Throw in a Blood Drunk. Maybe you got to throw in some convoys. And just continue to hit them. Every time you make a pass through this, you're looking at around 2,500 pieces of 8. 2,500 pieces of 8. And it takes you 5 minutes as opposed to 10 to 15 over here. So if you're putting in a 2 or 3 hour grind, make an hour of it just hitting this rotational loop. Hitting these 4 to 5 locations. And every time you hit it, you're going to get those pieces of 8. You're going to get SP. You're going to be getting Infamy. You're going to be getting your guild marks as well, guys. You will get a little bit of everything and then pull off of it. So, for an hour, I'm just going to hit these 4 right here. So you just hit these 4 locations, and this here is getting you your SP. It's getting you some guild points. It's also getting you a lot of much needed resources. Now, you can add any factory you want to this thing, guys. Run hostile takeovers when they pop up. Hostile takeovers, they pay 900 pieces of 8 on ones that you already own. If you have a location that you've earned, or maybe it's a location you don't earn. If you see one of these over here, I can pick up 1,080 pieces of 8. So I'm going to come over here, I'm going to join the event. I'm not going to fast travel through that. I'm going to fast travel right here. So I don't have to start outside and come toward the ship. I can just fast travel to the location. That's going to save you a little bit of time between cutscenes. You still got to do a cutscene, but at least you're not having to do 2 cutscenes. Okay, so now on this location, what you want to look for is, I pretty much know where most of these guys are at, but you see this location looks like a little ledger with a quill. Overseas Smuggler. There is a rope here. I cannot climb up the rope, so I have to come up and around over to this location, and this is where we're going to come to complete this. And what do we need? We need nickel ingot. Well, hey, guess what? If you've been going around and you've been grabbing all of those resources, like I told you, as you're blowing up towers, whether that's over there in the African plains, Red Isle, or even over there with the Indies, you've got plenty of these materials here. You can have turn them into ingots, and you're going to come up here and you're going to spend some ingots, and you're going to get a free location. You're going to get pieces of 8, and you're going to get the raider chests as well, which can give you a helm lease, or you can, guess what, go pick up another location for free. So we're coming over here to the Smuggler, manufacturing buyout. We're going to spend our ingots on it. Okay, so we got 2 gilded boxes. We got 1,080 pieces of 8. We also picked up 75 smuggler points, so we picked up SP on that as well, guys. So that's going to be a great way to do that. Now, when it comes to those boxes, what's in them? Well, let's just see what's in it. Like I say, you can get helm leases. I've been picking up. Oh, look at that! There's the helm lease. So we would now already own location, so it does me no good. But I could go and pick up another location with this helm lease. Any location, and I would specialize in the factory areas I'm trying to get, which are first Africa, northern section of Africa. Complete them all, and you will open up the auto collect for that zone. And then we also picked up sugarcane, and this here is going to get you, if you were looking when I showed you that Helm Empire upgrade, that's where this comes into play, and you will turn this into rum, and then you would distill it a second time, which makes it a more potent rum. Then we sell that to Skurlock for silver, and that's how, if you look up here, we have over 140 million silver. And I run this stuff still today. I go and I hit forts. I make sure I grab contracts, and we're going to discuss that too. Like I say, there is no real quick just press this button up, down, left, right on the D-pad type stuff. None of that exists in this game, guys. Then we ended up picking up some White Skull rum as well. So what I recommend, don't go around drinking this stuff, sell this stuff. So you can sell this to Skurlock and St. Anne. You can convert this juniper berry into gin as well. So that's really not a bad payout, 190, 182 out of those chests. That's actually more than you would pick up running a rogue. So we're going to go ahead and transfer this stuff over to the warehouse. And then we're going to go over to the Smuggler Network to show you where the magic happens for your silver, guys. Like I said, you are building an empire. There is no up, down, left, right, quick to get done with this stuff, guys. Those days of gaming have ended. And if you are watching someone who's telling you to run something that seems too good to be true, they don't care if your account gets banned by Ubisoft, and it does happen. Okay, they don't care. All they care about is, are you paying? Are you doing the view? And they getting paid for the view. That's why they throw it out there. And there is a certain individual who has been responsible for multiple bans and multiple silver resets in this game by posting videos like that, guys, just so you're aware of it. Now, Smuggler's Hideout you can access by holding your top RB button or coming to the hideout here manually once you reach Kingpin, and you're going to come into this thing. And this is your distillery. There is one in Talak Panjar. It looks exactly the same inside, except it's called a laboratory. And when you come here, you have materials. And we're going to go ahead. We've got these. These are finished materials that have come off. And I need to go grind some more stuff up. But we did pick up a few things. So let's see what we got. So this here's, you got to do the first stage, which is white skull. And then the gold skull, which is, if you look, you have purple product versus gold product. So these are more of your epics, and these are more of, you know, it's kind of a rating system. These sell for 125, these sell for 250. So you want to take it from white skull to gold skull. It takes a little bit to get there, but you can sell for white skull once you open these abilities, guys. So now when you're converting over to gold skull, we have 931 of the white skull gin. If you look here, I'm going to be able to convert it into half. It has a 2-for-1 reduction, but understand within that tree I was showing you, there are some where you can produce an extra 2 or 3 of these at that time. So you may end up closer to 500 than to 465, but you're selling them for twice as much. So that's how this works. And you want to keep this factory rocking. You want to make sure that it is always running, even if you're just coming in and you're queuing up a couple hundred at a time. That's how you want to do that. Now, when you're running your plunders, guys, once you reach that certain level, you're going to come over here to supply network. Before you go run a plunder, get as much as you can from your actions. This is where grinding really starts to shine. Coming in, you're going to come up to a fort plunder, and these are the forts that you want to plunder. You're going to get the SP from them. It's 150 SP over here in World Tier 2. It's 100 in World Tier 1. But you will be able to pick up 610 poppy from this one, plus we'll get to 150, plus there's actual SP for completing the contracts as well, so you're really double and triple dipping at that point. Now these here, I will be honest with you, most of these raw Imperial Jades, I run them, but they are just, you just don't get much for this stuff. So you can pick them up and run them if you want to, if it's in locations, but if you got one that's just out of the location, you decide you just don't think it's worth it. They don't sell as much as your juniper berries or your tobacco or any of that kind of stuff. Those finished products, these just don't sell as high. If you don't feel like running it, just pick them up. And I'm going to show you something. You don't have to do it this way, guys. I'm just showing you something here. So we'll go to our journal and say, you know what? I don't feel like dealing with this. So you can go ahead and hit this thing right here. And we're going to abandon the contract. So that drops that contract. Now, you have to wait an hour at this point for another contract to come up. So I would say run them. You go get the SP from it anyway. You can sell them for a little bit of silver. It's not as much silver, but I did want to show you that. You can drop those. Now, when it comes to pieces of 8, you could also run order registries here. And this is, again, in that upper tier tree that I was showing you. Make sure you complete at least 1 of 3 on each of those stages to begin with. And you get these order roving missions. And this is where you will go to those locations. It disables your fast travel. And you're going to travel out that location to blow up a liaison. Don't bother putting any products on your stuff. Just go blow up the liaison. You'll get the pieces of 8 for free. So there's 420 on this one and 420 on this. So we'd make 840 of those pieces of 8 just by blowing these 2 liaisons up. So we showed you the forts, and then of course there's liaison pickup over here. And again, if you prefer to buy it with silver, you can, but remember you're a pirate. And these are in 3 different locations, so you will have them tracked on your map, and you'll just go out and blow up the liaison. He has white cells and a white ship, and you'll destroy it, and you'll get those materials. So there's 150 tobacco on this, 15 Emerald Jade on this one, and 150 sugar cane on this one as well. So again, up to you if you want to travel all the way out there to pick up the Imperial Jade. I'm sitting pretty good on silver. I usually just get it, toss it, and wait for another one to respawn because it's too far for me to travel unless it's near an event. So this one here would actually be pretty close to the Moonshiners event from what it looked like here. So you have Moonshiner event, and it was like right here. So I would just come out and I'd hit this Moonshiner event, then I'd go up and I'd sink that liaison and pick up the materials. So if it's pretty close to an area, hit it. If not, up to you if you want to run it. But remember, for everything you get free, you can then turn around and sell it for silver. So that's something you need to keep in mind, guys. But if you look over here again, like we were showing you, hostile takeovers. If Ben's already owned this one, I will get 2 of those Gilded Raider caches. If I was below a level 4, it would also give me a free level up on that factory because I have coercive growth like I showed you on your helm there. And then the 1080 pieces of 8 upon completion. Plus I'm getting 150 SP because I'd be in tier 2. And then I would also get SP for each stage of it that I'm doing. I'm getting Infamy throughout that. Infamy for every ship that I blow up. Infamy for every stage that I complete of it. If you don't manage to complete the plunders and things like that, then, you know, you still get a little something for it. It doesn't have to be completed, but you're going to get the best bang for your buck by completing. So I hope this video has really shown you the mechanics of the game and how everything's tied in together, and you can make a really great pattern. And what I do, guys, is I rotate it for an hour. I'll run one thing and then I'll mix it up. Or if I get bored running something, I start adding convoys and bosses into it, like Lee. You know, you're going to get SP from her. You're going to get Infamy from her. You're also going to get those guild points from her. You get pieces of 8 from her. You get special materials from her. And the same is for any boss or any of these contracts, guys, that you're going to be running. Same thing with these convoys. So you get mysterious chests. Typically what you get out of that stuff is helm materials. So hope this gives you some great ideas. I'm going to catch you guys later.